Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. Today I wanted to talk about questions and answers, okay? This is going to be this segment of, me addressing questions and hopefully making more sense, okay? The first one is from Delana, and it says, have I ever spoken to a spirit who was a former atheist? What a great question. Very often I will talk to loved ones that are presently here wanting to connect with past loved ones that have passed. And interesting enough, I'm going to give you a story. There was a sister that I was giving a session to, and her brother had passed, and her brother was really a sweet guy because he was coming out in so many different ways. And I said to her, if he was here in the physical sense, I would have been friends with him. And she goes, oh, he was a great guy. I go, he had a great sense of humor, great personality, the whole bit. But the one thing he's saying is that he really loved the breakfasts. So there was many times you got together. I believe it was Saturday, and she goes, I used to cook him breakfast every Saturday morning. And I thought that was the sweetest thing. And she goes, I can't believe he's bringing that up. And she goes, and it's funny because I don't eat breakfast anymore because it reminds me too much of him. And I thought, oh, but he was mentioning that. And then she says to me, does he have anything else that he wants to tell me? And I said, yeah, one more thing. He wants you to know that there's God. And she says, really? Are you sure? I said, yeah, he's telling me that. She says, my brother was an atheist. He didn't believe in God. I says, well, maybe this is the cause for what he needed to leave you with, that all along he didn't believe that there was God, and now he's reaffirming that there is God. So, great question, because many times I will have people that never believed, or I get a lot of clients and they're coming to make contact with their husbands or their fathers or their mothers, and they're saying, you know what, my husband never believed in any of this. But it's ironic how he's coming in with all of these messages that you could possibly never have known. And she goes, how is that? And I said, because once, like I say, you go through that light, everything's unveiled and you see it all for truth. And you just get touched with that universal love. So it's a great question. Thank you, Delana, so much for, asking it. But, whatever we think here and what we see in the afterlife is really something. So, many times I do get atheists that come through and they say that there is God. So I hope that really helps it and it puts a better perspective on it. So for those of you that don't believe, there's still hope that in the afterlife you will see it for truly what it is. All right, the next question I have is from David. And it says, he puts, how are spiritually and sexual orientation viewed in the afterlife, gay, lesbian, or trans, etc.? So that's a great question. Now, interesting enough, it's a very touchy subject for me. It's a very close to home subject because a lot of people that have been very close to me and still are gay and transgender, bisexual. Believe me, I have lots of people that are all different, and I love them all for who they are because I don't judge that, okay? How does God see it? God creates all of us, and we're all different for different reasons. And maybe, just maybe, that the differences that people are to come into this lifetime is to teach others to be more accepting and more loving towards each other. There are reasons why people are different. There are reasons why people are handicapped, so they can teach others what to value more in life and what not to be so shallow. And it's the same thing with color. Who's white, who's black, who's Asian, it doesn't matter. It's just a color. So when you can take your blinders off and really see people for who they are and not their orientation, this is really what universe is all about. It's to teach us to look deeper. So I don't want to hear it's the Bible and it's not natural because, seriously, I really think that God is much more than that. God is about loving everybody. A long time ago, somebody asked me, what is more important, Susan, peace or love? And I says, well, that's easy. I said, it's peace. It's not love. I said, if you are not having peace within you, or the decision making, or how you view something, how could you love in a healthy way? The peace comes first for you to love in a beautiful, healthy manner with no restrictions. So remember that next time. Try not to judge when you see somebody who's different. Now, I'm not saying somebody who's bad. That's a whole different entity of what I'm saying. But somebody who is different, there's no cause to judge them or laugh at them. Really, don't be ignorant. Try to grow and see people for truly who they are on the inside. So I hope that this really helps. But great question, David. I really wanted to address it. And your spirituality should not matter what gender you are and how you view things, your sexuality, it shouldn't come to play, because I have many gay friends that are so kind and warm and loving and intuitive, and their spirituality is so incredibly strong that, you know what, we need to learn from them. Okay? So great question, David. I wanted to, bring that to attention. My last question that I'm going to address in this segment is, how do we avoid bringing negativity in the workplace? Great question, because so many people are suffering from that right now. There is so much stress, and there's so many people that are just not nice. They're plain idiots in how they treat one another, plain and simple. And I feel very bad for people that are having such a tough time. The thing that I want to say is, it's not easy to go and quit your job. So first and foremost, I always want to say, try not to ever quit your job until you find another one. The best time to look for a job is when you still have one, because the stress isn't as bad as if you didn't have one. If you're that unhappy in the workplace, look for another job. If you are happy but would like to tweak it, change how you are viewing that person, your boss, your supervisor. If your boss is just going to be a plain idiot, kind of expect him to be that every day. And if he ends up to be somewhat nice, it's a nice surprise. Meanwhile, don't let this person get under your skin to the point where it's starting to change who you are. If you see that it's really costing your health, or it's rising your anxiety, or you're just plain sad, you just don't even want to be there anymore, then it's time to really look and say to yourself, is it time for me to make a lifestyle change to what I'm wanting to choose? So pay attention to some of the symptoms that you are getting because of this job. Like I said, no job is perfect, but overall, if it's good and you love what you're doing, that's great. But if it's starting to take a toll and you're turning into a person that you don't want to be, then it's time to rethink and start looking. There's plenty out there, and if you have to think outside the box and maybe not do exactly what you're doing, but you can find something close to something that you like, there you go. There's your piece. So I hope this has enlightened you a little bit and given you food for thought, and maybe more energy to put it in the right direction for you to actually bloom. All right? I hope this helps, and until next time, subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to my Facebook, and you will see events and all kinds of things that I keep posting. Until next time, I wish you a very, very good day. Take care. Bye-bye.